The coin marked 1776 to 1976D is a bicentennial Eisenhower dollar, a special $1 coin issued by the United States Mint to commemorate the 200th anniversary of American independence. The dates 1776 to 1976 appear together to honor the nation's founding and its two-century journey of liberty, progress, and unity. The D Mint mark beneath the date signifies that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the primary U.S. minting facilities. On the obverse, or front side, appears a portrait of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States, designed by Frank Gasparo, who also served as the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. The inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the dual date, 1776 to 1976, surround Eisenhower's image. In God We Trust has appeared on American currency since the Civil War and expresses the nation's enduring faith and moral foundation. The reverse side, designed by Dennis R. Williams, a 22-year-old art student at the time, depicts the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon, a powerful symbol combining America's revolutionary heritage and its modern achievements in space exploration. Around the rim are the words United States of America and the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, representing unity among the states and the people. This coin was minted in both copper-nickel-clad and 40% silver versions, the latter sold in special collector sets. The standard circulation coins were issued from the Denver, D, and Philadelphia, no mint mark, mints, while the silver versions came from San Francisco, S. Although it carries a $1 face value, most bicentennial Eisenhower dollars are worth about $1.25 to $2 in circulated condition, depending on where, while uncirculated or proof versions can be worth several dollars more. The silver issues, depending on grade and silver market value, can range from $8 to $15 or more. Beyond its monetary worth, the coin is a cherished symbol of American pride and history, linking the spirit of 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was signed, to the technological triumphs of the 20th century, such as the moon landing. Collectors appreciate its large size, bold imagery, and the way it captures a moment when the nation reflected on 2 centuries of freedom and looked toward the future. The bicentennial dollar was part of a larger commemorative coin program that also included special quarters and half dollars, each featuring unique reverse designs related to the Revolution. All 3 coins carried the dual date, 1776 to 1976, and none were issued with a single-year date during that period. The Eisenhower dollar, however, stood out due to its size and the inclusion of the Liberty Bell, a national icon that first rang in Philadelphia and symbolized independence. Its placement over the moon was intended to merge the ideals of liberty with human progress, emphasizing that the American dream was as expansive as space itself. Though the Eisenhower dollar never achieved wide use in daily commerce due to its large, heavy size, it remains a historic artifact of national unity, a bridge between America's founding and its modern aspirations. The phrases and imagery, Liberty, In God We Trust, E pluribus unum, and the 2 dates reflect the ideals of freedom, faith, unity, and endurance that have guided the United States from its birth to its bicentennial celebration. Every bicentennial dollar serves as a tangible reminder of the nation's 200-year journey from 13 struggling colonies to a global democracy exploring the stars. Collectors today hold this coin not merely for its metal value, but for its story, a story of revolution, remembrance, and renewal that continues to resonate nearly 50 years after it was struck. Next top. The United States of America $1 1776 to 1976 coin is one of the most symbolic and meaningful coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint, created to honor the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This coin, known as the Eisenhower Bicentennial Dollar, represents a bridge between America's revolutionary past and its modern identity as a leader in liberty and innovation. The dual date, 1776 to 1976, reflects 2 centuries of American progress, from the birth of a nation struggling for independence to a country that had reached the moon and become a world power. The obverse front of the coin features the bust of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States and a five-star general during World War II. This portrait was designed by Frank Gasparo, chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, and it is surrounded by the inscriptions Liberty at the top, In God We Trust to the left, and the dual date 1776 to 1976 below. Each word carries deep meaning. Liberty stands for the nation's founding ideal, while In God We Trust expresses the enduring belief in divine guidance and moral strength, officially appearing on U.S. coins since 1864. The words reflect the values that guided the early patriots and continue to shape American identity. On the reverse back of the coin, designed by Dennis R. Williams, a talented young art student whose design won a national competition, we see the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon, a striking symbol that connects the freedom won in 1776 with the incredible technological achievements of the 20th century, such as the Apollo space missions. The Liberty Bell, cracked but unbroken, represents America's enduring resilience and unity. The background moon evokes the nation's boundless ambition, showing that liberty and discovery go hand in hand. Above the design are the words United States of America, and beneath it, the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many one. This phrase is one of the nation's earliest and most profound mottos, symbolizing how 13 separate colonies joined together to form one strong and united country. Below the Liberty Bell and moon, the denomination $1 is clearly inscribed. The coin's imagery as a whole represents a nation proud of its past, yet focused on its future, a people rooted in history but aiming for the stars. The 1776 to 1976 bicentennial dollar was minted in two main compositions, a copper-nickel-clad version for circulation and a 40% silver version for collectors. The silver coins were issued in special sets sold by the U.S. Mint to commemorate the bicentennial celebration. Coins with the D mint mark were struck in Denver, Colorado, while those with an S came from San Francisco, and others without a mint mark were produced in Philadelphia. The coin weighs approximately 22.68 grams and has a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, making it one of the largest circulating dollar coins in U.S. history. Because of its size and weight, it did not circulate widely in everyday transactions, but it quickly became a favorite among collectors, history enthusiasts, and patriotic Americans. Though its face value is $1, the coin's collectible value depends on its condition, composition, and mint mark. A circulated copper-nickel version may be worth about $1.25 to $2, while uncirculated or proof silver issues can be worth between $8 and $15 or more. The true worth, however, lies not in its monetary value but in its historical and emotional significance. The bicentennial dollar was part of a larger bicentennial coin program, which also included special editions of the quarter and half dollar. These coins were the first in U.S. history to feature special reverses and dual dating for an entire year. The program celebrated the 200th birthday of the United States, an event marked by nationwide parades, fireworks, and commemorations in 1976. The decision to place the Liberty Bell and the moon together was especially meaningful in that context. It symbolized how America's revolutionary spirit had not faded after 2 centuries, but had evolved into a force for exploration, innovation, and hope. It united the courage of the Founding Fathers with the curiosity of the space age, presenting an image of a country always moving forward. The inscriptions on the coin, Liberty, In God We Trust, and E pluribus unum, are not mere decorations. They are philosophical statements reflecting America's ideals. Liberty proclaims freedom as the nation's highest value. In God We Trust conveys faith as a guiding principle through struggle and success. And E pluribus unum reminds every citizen that diversity is the strength of the Union, that out of many people, states, and beliefs, one nation stands. Together with the dates 1776 to 1976, these inscriptions encapsulate 200 years of perseverance, unity, and aspiration. Though the Eisenhower dollar is no longer in regular circulation, the next top. The 1999 $1 coin of the United States, inscribed with the proud national mottos, In God We Trust, liberty, and e pluribus unum, represents both a functional piece of American currency and a closing chapter in a unique era of U.S. coinage. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the P mint mark, the 1999 issue was the final year of production for the Susan B. Anthony dollar, a coin that had originally debuted in 1979. Its obverse features the dignified portrait of Susan B. Anthony, the pioneering women's rights advocate and suffragist who fought tirelessly for women's right to vote during the 19th century. This marked a significant milestone in American coinage history, as Anthony was the first real woman, as opposed to symbolic figures like Liberty, ever depicted on circulating U.S. currency. Around her portrait are the inscriptions Liberty, the national motto, In God We Trust, and the date of minting, 1999. The reverse of the coin displays an elegant rendition of an eagle landing on the moon, inspired by the Apollo 11 mission insignia, a design by Frank Gasparo, the U.S. Mint's chief engraver at the time. Surrounding the eagle are 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies, and the inscriptions, United States of America, e pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, and the denomination $1. The 1999 issue holds particular historical importance because it was struck 2 decades after the series' initial run ended in 1981. The Mint resumed production briefly to fill a sudden demand for small-sized dollar coins in vending, transportation, and postal systems, just before the introduction of the new golden Sacagawea dollar in 2000. Composed of a copper, nickel clad over a pure copper core, the coin has a diameter of 26.5 millimeters, a thickness of 2.0 millimeters, and weighs 8.1 grams. Its 11-sided rim, technically a plain round coin but with an undecagonal border design, gives it a distinctive visual and tactile edge, helping it stand out from quarters despite its similar size, a design consideration that had been a point of controversy when it was first released. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 29 million of these coins in 1999, and while many entered circulation, a significant number were distributed only in U.S. mint sets and proof sets for collectors. From a numismatic standpoint, the 1999 piece Susan B. Anthony dollar occupies a transitional and somewhat symbolic position. It bridged the gap between the end of one era and the beginning of another in the history of U.S. dollar coins. Its production marked the return of a design that had once been considered unpopular due to confusion with the quarter, yet it also signaled the U.S. Mint's readiness to innovate once again with the upcoming Sacagawea series. The coin's obverse and reverse designs reflect the enduring American ideals of liberty, unity, and progress. Anthony's determined profile symbolizes the nation's social evolution, while the lunar eagle captures its technological and exploratory triumphs. The inscriptions In God We Trust and E Pluribus Unum serve as reminders of both faith and unity, central to the American identity. Today, collectors view the 1999 $1 as a short-lived revival coin, valuable not for its precious metal content, since it's made primarily of base metals, but for its historical context and its role in completing the Susan B. Anthony dollar narrative. High-grade, uncirculated, or proof examples, especially those in mint-sealed packaging, are prized in coin collections. Ultimately, this coin represents more than just a dollar. It encapsulates over 2 centuries of American ideals, innovation, and the continuing story of a nation out of many one. Next up. The 1979 United States of America $1 coin, marked with the D mint mark of the Denver Mint, stands as one of the most distinctive and controversial coins in modern U.S. monetary history. It was the first year of the Susan B. Anthony dollar series, a short-lived but historically significant coin that sought to revolutionize the way Americans use dollar denominations. Authorized by Congress in 1978 and introduced the following year, this coin replaced the larger Eisenhower dollar in hopes of creating a smaller, lighter, and more convenient version for everyday transactions. The design chosen to represent this new era of coinage featured Susan B. Anthony, a pioneering reformer and tireless champion for women's rights, particularly the right to vote. Her inclusion marked the first time in U.S. history that a real woman, rather than a mythological or allegorical figure, was depicted on circulating American currency. Designed by Frank Gasparo, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, the obverse side bears a sharp and dignified portrait of Anthony facing right, framed by 11 stars to her left and right, symbolizing the original 13 colonies when combined with 2 stars beneath her image. Surrounding her likeness are the inscriptions Liberty above, In God We Trust to her right, and the date 1979 below. The mint mark D, representing Denver, appears just above Anthony's shoulder, identifying the facility where the coin was struck. The reverse of the 1979 D dollar showcases another of Gasparo's iconic designs, an American eagle landing on the surface of the moon, clutching an olive branch, symbolizing peace, and based on the Apollo 11 mission insignia. This powerful image links the coin to one of America's greatest achievements in science and exploration, underscoring national pride and human progress. Encircling the eagle are 13 stars, once again honoring the original colonies, and the inscriptions, United States of America, E pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many one, and the denomination $1. This combination of imagery, a woman of moral strength on the obverse and a lunar eagle on the reverse, embodies two of the most defining aspects of American identity: social justice and exploration. Technically, the 1979 D dollar was minted using a copper, nickel-clad composition, with outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs approximately 8.1 grams, measures 26.5 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge. Though circular, its design features an 11-sided border and hexagonal outline that gives it a unique geometric appearance, making it visually distinct among U.S. coins. However, this very feature, coupled with its small size, created one of its biggest practical problems. Many Americans confused it with the Washington quarter. This similarity in diameter, weight, and metallic color led to widespread frustration and poor public acceptance. Vending machines and transit systems often failed to distinguish it correctly, causing operational issues and consumer complaints. As a result, circulation demand for the Anthony dollar dropped sharply after its initial release, and production was suspended after 1981. From a numismatic perspective, the 1979 D Susan B. Anthony dollar remains a coin of considerable interest. The Denver Mint produced over 288 million pieces that year, making it a common issue, but varieties such as the narrow rim and wide rim, or near-date, versions in other mints like Philadelphia add intrigue to the overall series. While most circulated 1979 D dollars hold only face value today, uncirculated examples in pristine condition, particularly those graded MS 65 or higher, can be worth several dollars to collectors. Proof-like and mint-set versions are even more desirable for their sharp strikes and lustrous surfaces. More importantly, the 1979 D issue represents a turning point in U.S. coinage history, marking the first time the mint attempted to reintroduce a small-sized dollar for practical everyday use, something that would later evolve into the golden Sacagawea dollar in 2000. Symbolically, the 1979 D dollar encapsulates much more than monetary value. It is a coin of social and historical transformation. Susan B. Anthony's determined gaze embodies the American struggle for equality and the enduring quest for civic justice, while the lunar eagle connects earthbound ideals with humanity's celestial achievements. The inscriptions In God We Trust, Liberty, and E pluribus unum reinforce the timeless values of faith, freedom, and unity that define the American spirit. Today, the 1979 D $1 coin endures as both a reminder of progress and imperfection, a well-intentioned innovation that stumbled in circulation yet succeeded in breaking cultural barriers. In the broader narrative of U.S. coinage, it occupies a place of honor as the coin that celebrated a woman of courage, mirrored the nation's aspirations, and